Step 1. Fixed inverter. First, lift the inverter and secure it above the battery pack. Fix the other two inverters in the same manner. Tighten the screws in sequence. The other two machines are operated as above. Remove the fixing screws of the inverter rear cover plate and take off the rear cover plate. Step 2. Connect the inverter to the battery. Use a screwdriver to remove the terminal fixing screw, convenient for later installation of copper bars. Align the negative black copper bar with the negative socket hole of the battery and place it down. Align the holes and use screws to tighten and fix them in sequence. Align the positive red copper bar with the positive socket hole of the battery and place it down. Align the holes and use screws to tighten and fix them in sequence. The other one uses the same method as above to fix the copper bar. Connect the positive wire bat plus of the inverter to their buckle strip, tighten and fix with nuts. Connect the negative terminal of the inverter bat to the black buckle strip, tighten and fix with nuts. The other two operate as described above. Connect the positive wire from the side hole to the positive pole of the second machine. Secure the positive wire to the positive red copper screw. Tighten and fix with nuts. The negative wire is operated as above and passes through the side hole position. Connect the terminal to the negative black copper bar and tighten it with a nut to complete parallel connection. Use a nut wrench to fix the nuts again in sequence. Ensure seamless connection between terminals and copper bars to ensure stable operation of the machine. Perform the same operation as above to connect the second and third machines in parallel. Step 3. Connect the communication cable. Connect communication port 1 to communication port 4 using a communication cable. Connect communication port 2 to communication port 5. Connect communication port 3 to communication port 2 of the second machine. Connect communication port 6 to the second communication port 3. Connect the second communication port 1 to the second communication port 6. Connect the second communication port 4 to the third communication port 1. Connect the second communication port 5 to the third communication port 4. Connect the third communication port 2 to the third communication port 5. Connect the third communication port 3 to the third communication port 6. Tighten the communication cable fixing screws in sequence. Complete communication line connection. Set all three PARS modes of the three machines to 1. Only keep the last two PARS settings of the third unit set to on. Lead out from the AC out interface of each device separately. U, V, W, N for wires. All three devices are wired in this way. Connect the AC output lines in parallel to the output load in phase sequence. Step 5. Connect input empty switch, using a sequencer to distinguish between 3-phase fire U or V or W lines and 0N lines. Connect the 3-phase live and neutral wires from the mains power supply. Connect the 3-phase live and neutral wires from the mains power supply. Connect to the input air switch in sequence U or V or W or N. Below the 4 terminals of U, V, W, and N that are open from the input end, connect 3 wires in parallel separately. Connect the 3 wires leading out of each terminal to the corresponding ones, U, V, W, and input terminals of 3 AC in devices. Ensure that the phase sequence of all connections is consistent. The other 2 machines have completed the AC and connection operation as described above. Step 6. Start the machine. Adjust the battery switch to the on state. Turn on the switches of the mains power and input terminal air switch in sequence. Push the air switch of 3 inverters AC and upwards until it is in the on running position. Push the AC out circuit breakers of 3 inverters upwards again until it is in the on running position. Turn on the inverter switches in sequence. The machine is running normally. Measure the downstream voltage of the load circuit breaker using a multimeter. Normal numerical value. Complete installation.